A few days ago, I penned an irritated tweet in response to one of the latest happenings on the increasingly heated culture war front.
Bro, there is literally nothing funnier than like just straight up posting some transphobic content on Maine, getting owned by Twitter for it because it's a clear violation of its fucking rules, okay? You're just like attacking a famous trans man, okay? Saying like, they got top surgery, it's fucking unacceptable or whatever the fuck, right? Like, you're literally saying, you're just transphobic at that point, right? He penned a tweet, by the way. Okay, motherfucker, what are you, Shakespeare? Oh, I'm sending General Macbeth a penned tweet. He certainly will be the new king of Scotland. Motherfucker penned a tweet like he pulled out a fucking feather and like tipped it into the ink. Once again, I just gotta remind you that like this shit is completely ridiculous. Like, there are so many fucking states that have passed some of the most cruel and unusual psychotic anti-trans fucking provisions, okay? Straight up unacceptable. Like, there are fucking states like Utah where the fucking state legislature passed such a transphobic bill that the Republican governor was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I mean, what are you doing? There's one trans girl in the entire fucking state that's competing in the high school level, and you guys want to pass this like psychotic fucking bill? Even the Republican even the Republican governor was like, I'm not signing this, bro. This is cruel and unusual. What the fuck's wrong with you guys? There's like one 12-year-old or 14-year-old trans girl. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're losing the Mormons. And even then, he's just simply crying because he can't further bully trans people on a fucking private platform, man. That's crazy. You are such a pathetic little coward, dude. Holy fuck. You are not strong. You're not a big tough guy. You're not a big man. You are a pathetic little fucking baby. You're cruel. You're ruthless for no fucking reason. And you're a coward. What a weak-ass little bitch-made thing to do, bro. Ohio and Indiana, too, by the way. They passed, like, anti-trans legislation as well. Come on, dude. They're silencing me. And it's like, no, they're not. They just gave you a suspension, dumbass. All you need to do is delete the tweet. And he's like, I'm not deleting it. Okay, good. Don't delete it, idiot. It's probably better for your fucking mental health. Clearly, you can't actually stop yourself from being on this fucking platform, and it is unironically bad for your mental health. Like, you have lost your fucking mind, brother. You are mentally unwell. So it's good that you got off Twitter at least, because you had to be so fucking transphobic. I think he just, this is right. I think he just like could not leave Twitter because he's so deeply addicted to it. Okay. So this is the only way that he can get off of it. And it's a double whammy. Now he can complain about cancel culture and being canceled on Twitter and free speech or whatever, which is hilarious because this is a perfect example of conservative persecution complex, dude. Conservatives love seeking victimhood so fucking hard. It's just like Barry Weiss, dude. Remember when no one cared enough about Barry Weiss to actually cancel her at the New York Times? So she fucking canceled herself and said, I'm leaving the New York Times because I cannot do it anymore. Like, my coworkers are mean to me because of my radical ideas. Yeah, Barry Weiss like wrote a resignation letter. She resigned with the New York Times literally because she wanted to be like, I want to be canceled, but no one is canceling me, so I'm just going to cancel myself and act like you guys did this to me. And then she went off and tried to make a fake college, and it didn't happen. This feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah. How funny is that shit, dude? Posting your own fucking resignation letter to try desperately to be canceled, and it did not work. I was honored to be a part of that effort led by James Bennett. But the lessons that ought to have followed the election, lessons about the importance of understanding Americans, the necessity of resisting tribalism, blah, 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 central thought, whatever, centralism, being a centrist. Twitter has become the ultimate masthead and the editor of the ultimate editor of New York Times. Like, my own forays into wrong think, God, you guys are such petulant little fucking sniveling nerds, dude. Oh my God, at least anime nerds, at least fucking weebs have fun with the content that they fucking consume. At least there's like a level of like entertainment there. These guys are just like nerds for being annoying, weird little cowardly racists and bigots, okay? They can't even fucking openly be like, I'm a racist. They can't say that. So they have to be like, this is the wrong thing because I was just a centrist who happened to side with all the right-wingers and reactionary ideas. How fucked up. And even then, you were allowed carte blanche to fucking post whatever you want, dude.
The Ellen Elliott page. I am employing this awkward and impossible naming style because it is now apparently mandatory, and am probably doing it wrong nonetheless, as you're doing it wrong is the whole point of what is being made mandatory. But also, I'm trying to make a point. I've essentially been banned from Twitter as a consequence. I say banned, although technically I have been suspended. But the suspension will not be lifted unless I delete the hateful tweet in question, and I would rather die than do that. And hopefully it will not come to that, although who the hell knows in these increasingly strange days. What was it that I said that caused such a fuss? And that fuss is just beginning. And even more importantly and complexly, what exactly was it that I said that resulted in the ban? Here is the tweet in question. Remember when pride was a sin? And Ellen Page just had her breasts removed by a criminal physician. Then a link to a story that detailed out the happenings. The response from Twitter, quote, violating our rules against hateful conduct. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. By clicking delete, you acknowledge that your tweet violated the Twitter rules. Delete. If you think we've made a mistake, submit an appeal to us. Please note that should you do so, your account will remain locked while we review your appeal. Let's take this apart. First, it is clearly the case that I did not promote violence against or threaten anyone with my missive. So that leaves the arguably lesser sin of harass.
Dude, this is awesome. More of this, please. More of this. Conservatives have to fucking do this all the time. Dude, I love this. Bro, this is like the funniest thing. I mean, the problem is there's a lot of pussies like this, right? Who do get fucking, who do think that like this is the most important political thing, right? But like, a guy getting banned off Twitter for like very clearly violating the terms of service, and then being like, why is that happening? And then reading through line by line the terms of service, like you're debating fucking the Twitter terms of service on your YouTube video. Like, it's awesome. Please, dude. Absolutely. Please continue this. I mean, how is this any different than old man yells at cloud? Where is it? Yeah, it's just, he has two, not one, but two cameras set up from different angles. So you understand how fucking severe this is. It's like, bro, you just got suspended. Just delete the tweet. What's wrong with you? I've gotten suspended a million times for DMCA violations. I've gotten suspended a million times for like dumb shit that people like mass report, you know? What the fuck's wrong with you? But this is a perfect fucking representation. It's the meme of like the little Asian boy with the fucking with the boot. This is the greatest way that you can ever describe conservative politics, dude. That's it. This is it. I am once again a victim of the oppressive boot that I myself placed right upon my face. That's it. That's conservative politics, dude. 90% of the shit is like literally them trying to desperately find new ways of being like, society has destroyed me.
Let's assume, since I wasn't informed, that that was the crime.
Hasan ignoring the plight of the white man. As a white man, I can say there have been periods of minutes, sometimes hours, where I felt oppressed. Jordan Peterson is completely correct. This is exactly the same as the Soviet Union. Thank you. I'm sorry, white man. We will recognize.
And further, harassment on the basis of so-called gender identity. Since Twitter did not do me the favor of actually specifying my crime, and there are many possibilities on that front, we unfortunately have to guess at why this has occurred. And that's actually a big problem in and of itself, and also indicative of the utter carelessness of the Twitter organization with regard to the propriety of its own censorial actions.
Dude, this can't be real. I feel like he made this for me. I'm losing my mind. What is he doing? What? Dude, there's nothing funnier than a dude who is so clearly fallen from grace. There's nothing funnier than a grown-ass, like, 60-year-old man put on a fucking 3-piece pinstripe suit specifically to sit in front of 2 fucking cameras and cry about being suspended on Twitter for very clearly writing fucking transphobic shit. About one trans person, too, which is like directional transphobic hatred. Dog, I got banned on Twitch for 7 fucking days. Okay? Which is my entire livelihood, right? My entire livelihood was taken from me for 7 fucking days. For using the word cracker. Okay? Like a group of individuals that will never find that to be legitimate, hateful misconduct. Even racist motherfuckers are like, what? Yeah, that's pretty funny when people call me cracker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, not a single real human being other than extremely online, sensitive, fragile fucking weirdos has ever looked at that word and gone, that's fucking racist, dude. That's anti-white racist. Okay? That is not a real thing. And I didn't make a video like this, motherfucker. You just got suspended off of Twitter, a platform that you supposedly were supposed to fucking leave anyway, but you couldn't. Because you directionally are writing transphobic shit about a famous trans actor. And this dude is like upset that he can't be fucking shitting on trans people.
I should at least know exactly what I did wrong if I am required to acknowledge that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. What rules, you sons of bitches? Exactly. Precisely. Because such things matter when the accusations start flying.
Dude, come on. If you take a person like this seriously ever again for the rest of your life, I'm sorry. I will make fun of you forever. I will bully you. I will literally bully you. If you come to me and tell me that you're still a Jordan Peterson stan, you see this, and you unironically are like, nah, man, he saved my life, you deserve to be bullied, okay? He said, what rule was breaking, you sons of bitches? About being suspended off Twitter, bro. What the fuck? It's not that serious, homie.
So what did I say that might constitute harassment? Well, many things, hypothetically. Let's begin with, remember when pride was a sin? Although that is merely a factual statement, because under the old rules, applicable even a decade ago, pride was a sin and had been recognized as perhaps the cardinal sin for thousands of years previously. It still might be regarded as unacceptable to the woke authoritarian moralists who now insist, for example, that we celebrate Pride Month, not hour or day or week, but month, and to have literally called it Pride Month.
Wait, not Pride Day, hour, or week, but month? What do you mean Pride Hour? Has that ever even happened? Has that ever... Dude, this is literally like a troll, right? I could not write something this funny if I sat down and wanted to like write something about like unnecessary hysteria from a conservative, like old ass conservative man whose brain has been fried by benzos, okay? Why no Pride Hour? But now Pride Month? What's next? Pride Year? Pride Quarter? Pride is a sin. He fucking loves this. It's like the time he said he'd go on hunger strike if we jailed over the C-16 bill. Yeah. And it's the same exact bullshit, bro. It's the same exact bullshit. It's on that exact same wavelength of him trying to fucking martyr himself. But he's too much of a pussy to fucking martyr himself. Because he wouldn't do it. Because it's a fucking grift. Okay. Go on it, bitch. Kill yourself by not eating any fucking food if that's how brave you are, okay? And I don't mean that in a fucking ban-worthy TOS way. If you want to fucking martyr yourself, go ahead. Go ahead, dude. What do you mean? Show us how fucking brave you are that you're going to go on a fucking food strike, a hunger strike. That's what he's saying. That's what that means. This is not terms of service violation. A hunger strike ends in death when you don't get what you want. That's why it's not something to fucking take lightly, okay? What do you think that means?
To suffer the consequences that society may deem you need to suffer because of your views.
He's literally a baby, bro.
Yes, I'm prepared to do that. Well, so what am I willing to do? Well, I think that the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal is probably obligated by their own tangled web to bring me in front of it. If they find me, I won't pay it. If they put me in jail, I'll go on a hunger strike. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, what happened, bro? No, he was never going to do that. He was never going to do that. He's like, I'll die to be transphobic. Okay, die then. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, if you're dying to be transphobic, I promise I'm not stopping you, bro. You can literally fucking do that. I am so on board, brother. Do it. Do it then. Die then, pussy. What do you mean? Like, what the fuck? Anybody has a problem with that? I don't know what to tell you. He should just guzzle some fucking apple cider, dude. Take himself out like that.
Not using the words that other people require me to use, especially if they're made up by radical left-wing ideologues.
Yo, people fucking listened to this man and was like, yo, he's spitting. Remember that fucking Your Rage tweet about like Ethan and iDubbbz about how like he was so shocked. It was Your Rage Gaming, right? Who like was like, damn, bro, like white dudes really in 2016 used to just straight up say like you should be able to say the N-word, right? And you know, people actually listen to them. This is the other side of that coin too. You know what I mean? Where it's like straight up people were just like actually fucking being like, man, I ride or die for this guy. Like, he is so fucking smart. He is so good, bro. Look at how brave he is. Like, I have people fucking honest to God, like, talking about this as though this is like legitimate, you know, this is like a legit thing. I was like, what the fuck what are you doing? 2016, 28, all the way to 2018, dude, there was some crazy shit going on the internet. And honestly, like, I was considering to do my PhD under him in 2018. Look, guys, there's nothing, I mean, it's funny. At least we can laugh about it. I know there are plenty of people in this community as well that fucking thought Jordan Peterson was a good papa figure, you know? And it's all good. You've grown, you know what I mean? You're no longer this way. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy to fucking look at something like this. It's crazy to look at, like, how I don't know how to describe it. Like, as someone who was very vocal at the time, when this was popping off, as someone who was like on the opposing side of this, I got so much hatred. I got so much fucking hatred. Like, the death threats started all the way back then when I didn't have this kind of platform. You know what I mean? My platform was much smaller, but people, his fanboys would go fucking crazy every time I cut videos about him, right? And sometimes it's wild to just like go back to it and be like, damn, dude, like this dude I mean, this dude is just, he was the same exact baby back then, the same exact sniveling little fucking cowardly baby back then as he is now.
Now, if our society comes to some sort of consensus over the next while about how we'll solve the pronoun problem, let's call it, and that becomes part of popular parlance, and it seems to solve the problem properly without sacrificing the distinction between...
Anyway, the pronoun problem, it's like, okay, bro. All right, let's get back to it.
Instead of LGBT plus month or whatever else alphabet acronym which is currently insisted upon as the only acceptable enlightened terminology. I don't regard pride as a virtue. It has been classically regarded as a...
Yeah, we already know that you do. You don't care. You sell bus to yourself. You're obviously a very proud person. You're like, you know, you 100%. You 100% are not like the virtuous person that you claim to be. But we know that already.
Sin. I don't see that sexual orientation or sexual desire of any sort is something to celebrate or to take pride in. And so what I said was merely a fact. Now, it's possible that I hurt someone's feelings because I pointed out that pride goes before, for example, a fall. But I don't care about that.
Sorry, I just wanted to check something. Get them. Get their asses, bro.
Do it again. And also consider it my duty to warn those who are about to fall into a pit that the path they are on leads suddenly downhill. But that was probably not the reason that I was banned from Twitter, although, as I said, I am in the position of having to guess. Next phrase to interrogate. And Ellen Page. Now, why did I stop there? Because in all likelihood, it was this seemingly innocuous phrase, including the name of a well-known actress, there I'm in trouble again, that likely resulted in my ban. I committed the fatal crime.
Bro, this is so funny. Dude, come on. Like, I know he's dead naming, okay? I know he's dead naming. And that's really fucked up. But like he's so fucking, like, he's so sad. You have to recognize, like, this person is such a sad, pathetic, wormy little human being. He's like, whoa, oh, oopsie, I did it again. Oh, I guess I'll go in trouble. I guess I'll get in trouble again. It's just like, it is the wackest way. Like, no, bro, no one is like fucking freaking out over this, okay? No one is freaking out over this because you're fucking washed. You are the one who's freaking out over this way more than anyone else, okay? It's literally, it has become an issue where it's like, I think trans people have so much worse shit to deal with overall that like who the fuck's gonna be like, oh man, Jordan Peterson is being transphobic again? Like, everybody knows you're transphobic, brother. So it's not new, you know? Funny enough, he corrected himself at the start of the video. He probably named Elliot. He forces himself to misgender like Ben. Exactly. Yeah, this is an older Jordan Peterson video that we did. Me and Three Arrows did this together, where we talked to a Jordan Peterson fan who like actually changed his mind entirely. There was no part 2 for this because like part 1 was enough. But that's not what I'm talking about. This was from 2018. And we have more. There's another video. There's like a more concise breakdown video. I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. Just to show you how fucking... Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you exactly how flip-floppy Jordan Peterson was. Okay? Because back in the day, Jordan Peterson at least, like, had not dropped the fucking mask yet. You know what I mean? He was not, like, openly being transphobic. I mean, he was... But he was doing it in a very carefully constructed way, in a carefully constructed Jordan Peterson manner, where he always left it for his little fucking debate perverts to defend him. He always left it in a way. He always left the conversation in a way where, like, you know, he wanted people to think like maybe he's not transphobic. So let's take a look at.
What do you think of
this video from 2018, December 30th, 2018?
Things that people, and I'm especially thinking of your opponents, get wrong about you?
Their basic proposition is that, you know, first of all, that I'm a right-winger of some sort, and that's just not the case.
God, this video fucking aged so gracefully. This video is like a fucking the red. This is like a fucking 1978 recently uncovered red wine that was deeply buried underground. You know what I mean? This video is one of my it's one of my primo, like one of my best older videos. That is release the tannins, boys. Release the fucking tannins. I'm gonna do a touchdown dance on this. Okay. Hi guys, just want to remind you all that Jordan Peterson is not a socially conservative lifestyle guru, and he certainly isn't white Deepak Chopra taking advantage of men who feel alienated in our increasingly divided hell world. And you know what? In this short video essay, I will prove that to you. There are plenty of other things I'd love to talk about Peterson, but it would never fit in the format of just one video. So if you have any additional questions or tell me how much I suck, you can direct them to me directly at twitch.tv/HasanAbi, where I'm live every day, or on my Instagram at HasanDPiker, or on my Twitter at HasanTheHun. But first, let's listen to some of the things Jordan Peterson said in this Breitbart exclusive from a conference where he was the guest speaker alongside many of these other non-ideologue individuals like Sebastian Gorka and Dennis Prager and Tucker Carlson. Here he is with Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, and even Jack Pizzagate Posobiec. Not a conservative, by the way. Just not a conservative.
I think it's partly also a consequence of the fact that we haven't adapted to the birth control pill yet. You know, it was a major technological revolution, the birth control pill, and it's only been 50 years. And we haven't figured out what it means for women to have control over the reproductive function, or what the consequences what the consequences of that should be socially.
Now, Jordan has a lot of wacky ideas about women in the workplace, but that's for another video. In this video, I want to talk about his perspective on trans rights, because that's a big point of contention for a lot of people, including feminist liberal TERFs, or for those of you who are not extremely online, trans exclusionary radical feminists, basically people who say like this.
I'm not saying that people should not be allowed to...
Sorry, trigger warning, TERF. Trigger warning, TERF. Oh my God, bro. TERFs are like, it burns. It burns. Why does she look like that? Okay.
go through that procedure. What I'm saying is it doesn't make them a woman.
But Hasan, you said he was conservative, and this person's a liberal, and they're in agreement. Yeah, that's also for another video. Okay, back to Peterson. Jordan Peterson initially made a name for himself by misrepresenting Bill C-16 in Canada, which expanded previous legislation on hate speech to include gender identity, in accordance with... Someone says she's 45. Yeah, you might not like it, but that's a 35-year-old TERF right there, okay? Yeah, that's what being a TERF does to you, bro. I swear. International human rights. And of course, the backlash was tremendous. People started praising Dr. Peterson as a brave truth teller, finally standing up against those trans bastards who dared to ask for equal rights. And of course, then there were a lot of radical ideologues who claimed that I, Dr. Jordan Peterson, was transphobic. They were all somehow taking me out of context. Look, I'm not against trans people existing. I'm just against being compelled to call someone by a pronoun other than what I think they should be called.
Why are you against the use of alternate pronouns?
I'm against the use of legislation to determine what words that myself and other people are required to utter.
Except the Canadian Bar Association expressly mentions that this is simply a mischaracterization of the law, which is probably why 0 people have gone to jail over misgender crimes in Canada. But what do I know?
I think I've made my position on that clear already. Well, perhaps not to our audience at home who are just being introduced to this. Would you use alternate pronouns? And why not? Because I don't believe that other people have the right to determine what language I use, especially when it's backed by punitive legislation. And when the words that are being required are the constructions, they're artificial constructions of people I regard as radical ideologues whose viewpoint I do not share.
I mean, Peterson's being totally reasonable here, right? Like if a person told me their name was John, I might refuse to call them that because I think their name is actually Bart. Sorry, Bart, you can't compel me to call you anything else. This assignment is totally not arbitrary, just like gender is totally not a social construct. All men have to express themselves in this traditionally masculine, Western sense, and I've never cared to research how other cultures view gender. Sorry, not going to do it. Someone with less bone density than myself, for example, who can't grow body hair, facial hair, who is 5'4", maybe has a higher pitch, is now going to be considered a woman since gender is absolutely binary. Take that, Jen Shapiro. She is pretty hot, though. But speaking of gender identity and how it absolutely is not Bro, I'm sorry. Even my fucking jokes are the same, dude. I've just been doing the same. Motherfuckers be like, Hasan, you're a grifter. It's like, bro, have you seen any videos of mine like post 2016, since the 2016 era? Like everything I've been saying. Some positions of mine have changed, but like even the fucking memes are the same, dog. Not functional if we were to live by Jordan Peterson's rules. Let's play a little experiment. What pronouns would you use for this person? What pronouns would you use for this person? Well, how about this person? Or even this beautiful MAGA broad? Or this person whose YouTube channel you should absolutely watch because she's amazing even though she doesn't reply to my DMs on Twitter. Like, imagine meeting up with Valentina Sampaio at a restaurant. How would you point her out? Dr. Peterson claims he called them by the pronoun assigned to them at birth, which is literally insane. For those of you who didn't get the point that I was making, every single person I just showed you are very famous trans people. But yeah, this is totally about free speech and not because Jordan Peterson is a transphobe or whatever.
Do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No.
Dude, it's so funny people say I'm transphobic. Oh, so that's why he was refusing to do that. I mean, this is a principled academic philosopher king. We're probably taking him out of context. I'm sure he has reasons. Give us your reasons, Dr. Peterson.
Why not?
Because I think that women are capable, generally speaking, of having babies, and they have female genitalia, and they have an XX chromosome, and I think the biological markers are relevant.
Okay. First off, Buck Angel has XX chromosomes and female genitalia, so I'd be hard-pressed for Dr. Peterson to point out to him in a crowd and try to get others to identify him as a woman since all of those standards apply to old Buck. Also, are we no longer considering girls who haven't had their first periods women? What about women who have gone through menopause? Sorry, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you're no longer a woman. I will be referring to you as a male now. Do you see my point? Socially speaking, the reality is that we make assumptions about gender from visual cues and not off of chromosomes. Yet the leading champion of the scientific argument constantly conflates biological gender with the contextual assignment of gender we apply socially every day. But even on the biological front, Peterson's principled analysis falls short since there are plenty of people who would be considered intersex, specifically 1.7% of the world's population. In context, by the way, if you want to say that, well, that's a tiny minority of people who gives a well, you're a douchebag. Also, that number is higher than the number of Jewish people on this planet. Okay, have you made it up to this point? Now, here are some personal opinions that I have that will most likely piss off some people who considered me an ally up to this point. So if you're deep into gender theory, this might upset you, and if you're a trans person, you might think I'm excusing transphobia, so there it is, I'm issuing a trigger warning. Are we alone yet? Okay, I get why this concept is terrifyingly alien to so many people, okay? This is partially due to centuries of oppression, lack of medical advances, the Nazis setting back trans research by centuries with their book burnings, and in this day and age, a lack of representation in media. I get it. It's already difficult enough to defend your worldview on things that you barely understand, like complex political theories, but changing your mind on something as concrete as gender that you've been conditioned into thinking about in a binary way requires tremendous amounts of introspection. So here is my olive branch to those who haven't had to think about this until now. Trans women are women, and trans men are men. So while I understand that your only introduction to trans folk has probably been hysterical college freshmen on YouTube compilations screaming at your intellectual daddy, there's more to it than that. There are plenty of brilliant trans men and women who are more informed on this subject than myself, and I highly suggest you take a look at their work, especially ones that immediately come to mind right now are ContraPoints, and I already mentioned her in the video, and my esteemed moderator, IzzyBear713 on Twitch, who you can literally ask questions directly about trans issues and activism, live on her Twitch. I'm Hasan Piker. If this video opened your mind a little bit, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to like it and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, this is like older video, but like there is not a lot of I used to have a time limitation for it, so unfortunately I couldn't get further into it. But you've heard this stuff from me before, as far as like speaking out to transphobic people, speaking out and like explaining to them what you know, how transphobic people can be transphobic, but like without excusing their transphobia. I try to like reach out to them and talk to them. It's still consistent. Yes, I am playing Gachi in the background. I personally chose the music always. I you know, produced every part of this. But yes, my ideas, especially on like trans people and transphobia and things like that, of course, haven't changed, which is why it's laughable when like people who were stans of Jordan Peterson back then, people who were literally Jordan Peterson fans back then, who now feel like they're woke enough to understand like, you know, oppression for trans people, run around and try to say I'm fucking transphobic. It's like, bitch, I've had fucking skin in this game. I've been fighting these battles on the internet against you half the fucking time. Okay. Many years prior. The prevalence of intersex prevalence is more like 0.2, by the way. That's not true. You are using data points that rely on doctors making the decision of whatever the gender of the child is going to be and putting them under a medical procedure. And that's why you're lying and saying it's 0.2%. That's not true. Doctors still, with intersex babies, will choose the gender for the baby. So ask yourself why you are doing that. Ask yourself why in this chat as well you are doing that. Of all places.
Although, as we will discover, that would have made it impossible for me to say what I wanted to and need to say in the remaining phrases. Not that such a problem would bother those who are objecting to my speech in the first place. The next phrase is, just had her breasts removed. This bit suffers from a very similar problem. I employed the forbidden pronoun her when Ellen, is now to be regarded as a he or else. But there's a conundrum here, to say the least, and not just for me, although I have been banned because of it. Was Elliot/Ellen a she or a he, or Ellen or Elliot, when she or he or they, that's Elliot or Elian, by the way, had his or her or their breasts removed?
Dude, you're making it unnecessarily complicated on purpose. What a fucking loser, man. What a gigantic fucking loser, bro. Literally, oh, he, she, they, oh, like, bitch, shut the fuck up. It is not that fucking difficult, homie. You are literally personally making it more difficult than it actually fucking is. You are such a fucking loser. Jesus Christ, dude. Even when someone has he, they on their profile, just pick one and stick with it. You're like, you don't need to fucking make it more confusing. Okay?
Moved. If he or she was a he, then why was it necessary to have the mastectomy? And how could those I am writing to make sense of what I was saying if it was...
I don't know, man. You could perhaps Google it, bro. Like, I don't get it. What the fuck? Aren't you like a brilliant guy? Aren't you like a brilliant fucking doctor? I don't understand. Dr. Jordan Peterson? Like, you couldn't ask someone at the college campus? Why? Why is this happening? I wonder. By the way, the fucking part about this is that, chat, is Hasan doing Blacksmith with Valkyrie today? And what is the plan for Anime Expo? So no, we were supposed to do it tomorrow, but we have to cook up something different. We have a different stream for tomorrow. Big secret guests too. It's gonna be huge, huge, but it's gonna be here. Let's keep going.
His breasts that were removed. Were those male breasts or female breasts that were removed? If they were male breasts, then why were they removed? If they were female breasts...
Jordan Peterson be like, sorry, but if you're a man who has gynecomastia, you must not get a medical procedure. I will not allow it. You want to remove your breast disease? Sorry, no amount of medical science will allow me to come to the conclusion that that is acceptable. You must let those puppies breathe. I will suckle on them breast disease. Like, what's up, dude? What do you mean? There are fucking cis men that also have similar procedures. What's going on? I need to see your man tits.
And had therefore become objectionable to the degree that surgery generally reserved for cancer...
Like his His favorite homie on the planet is literally the poster boy for gender affirming surgery, okay? Gender affirming hormone therapy. That's what TRT is, motherfucker. If you're Joe Rogan and you shove so many fucking steroid needles in your ass that you look like a goddamn Ninja Turtle with fucking with the bubble gut from all the HGH and TRT you've done, which you openly fucking claim and ride for, by the way, which I have no problem with. That's gender affirming hormone therapy. You have no problem with Joe Rogan doing that shit, but God forbid a trans person decides to do something similar. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I hate that! Do not do hormone therapy unless you're Joe Rogan and I can go on your podcast. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Treatment was
Dumb
required.
bitch. I bet he got fucking hair plugs too, which is also gender affirming surgery.
Was morally obligatory, then wasn't Elliot still Ellen and he still she? How could I possibly have written that sentence in any sensible manner whatsoever?
Well, you couldn't have because you personally fucking, made it worse.
While simultaneously making my point understandably and not breaking Twitter rules against so-called hateful conduct. And Elliot Page just had his breasts removed. Was he Elliot then? When exactly? Exactly. He was definitely Ellen at some point in the past, or so indicate all his, her, them, their.
Dude, this is so funny. It's like, exactly what moment did the transition happen? It's like, motherfucker, you don't need to know that. Like, when someone tells you their name is Jane, you don't go, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe your name is Barbara. When did you choose Jane? You must let me know now. I need to see your pussy. That's not a thing, okay? Show me your pussy, Jane. I need to see it. I must see it.
Film credits. Will all those have to be reshot since they employed the hated dead name? That doesn't exist, by the way, that dead.
By the way, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. That question is an interesting one. Like, that question, if it wasn't being used against a trans person, right, to like further transphobia and to like try to fucking get people on board with like being unnecessarily transphobic to a trans person, then that's actually an interesting concept. You could have a conversation about that. What happens to the old what happens to the old footage of a trans person? We have a friend of the show, Philosophy Tube, for example, who is trans, and she has a bunch of footage from YouTube of her old content where she looks the way she does, right? I don't know how to fucking explain it, but see, that's a complicated thing, right? That's a complicated concept that you could normally pre-transition. That's what you would say. Exactly. That's a complicated concept. I'm not even saying that it's not a complicated concept. I am openly admitting that that's a complicated concept, which you could personally have a conversation around. And trans people have this conversation all the time. Okay? But if your goal was to genuinely educate people and to find the best practices, this is not the way to go about it. And what is really, really indecent in this situation is that people like Jordan Peterson, transphobic people, stand in the way of people having that conversation in a genuine capacity, specifically so they can continue making more transphobic fucking takes. Umbrella Academy handled the transition the best way possible. Yes, but we're talking about like old footage and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it changes from person to person. You know what I mean? How is he benefiting from his intolerance? He's benefiting from his intolerance because a lot of people have intolerant takes like this. And he is signaling to that audience that, like, he's signaling to that fucking audience, like, hey, listen, this is it. This is, I will ride for you. I'll be your fucking champion. I think a lot of JP stands are former rudderless males incels who need to hear something like anyone can be a 7 talk from somebody and happen to hear it from him. It's painful to admit that someone whose advice helped you at some point is actually a loser, kind of like finding your favorite streamer who you sub to for years, a closet weeb. Yeah, that would be disgusting if your favorite streamer was a closeted weeb, you know what I mean? Which is why I don't worry, like, fear not, I'm not. There's a lot of fucking instances out there. There's a lot of video footage out there that like lie, and it's been doctored. Anyway, let's continue.
Name category, except in the sensorial and addled minds of a tiny fraction of insanely narcissistic and increasingly dangerous trans activists. When precisely was it incumbent on me to switch my terminology in regard to Elliot/Ellen so that I was not engaging in hateful conduct?
Like, this shit is so meaningless, ultimately. It is like the least significant thing you could do to not be a fucking asshole. And even that is expecting far too much from a dude who's like, no, my entire politics is around being a fucking asshole. Like, it's not furthering transphobia. It's not further spreading transphobia at a time when like every fucking state is literally passing legislation to try and kill trans people or to try to get trans people to kill themselves. That's not what's dangerous. It's the trans activist that's dangerous. It's simply asking Jordan Peterson, okay, to be nice. That's too much. Why is that too much? Because he's fucking a hateful piece of shit. That's it. He is a pathetic little hateful fucking dweeb. And that's it. Okay? I used to date a trans YouTube star who was a big JP fan. She has since detransitioned thanks to his rhetoric and overall religious pressure. She's now using her platform to spread anti-trans propaganda. This shit is depressing to see. Jesus fucking Christ. That's sad.
And how can I describe the fact that someone who was once a woman, and really still is, had her breasts cut off because they...
I didn't change my best friend's opinion. He defended every point you brought up against Jordan. I couldn't believe his conviction. Dude, what points could you be defending in that position? Like, all of my Jordan Peterson videos are literally fucking top to bottom. Like, all my positions on Jordan Peterson's videos are completely logically sound. So I don't know what they would be defending in that circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a zealot at that point. Hey, Hassan, help me out with this. What do you say to an intolerant person who says being trans is a mental disorder? I have a bitch-ass friend who always says that HasanAbi... What? I don't know, dude. It's just like a bad person. Like...
them had fallen prey to a viciously harmful fad without using the appropriate sex-linked pronoun and the real name of the real person to whom this was really done with his, her, their voluntary but unfortunate acquiescence. And so it was impossible to communicate what had happened to my audience without apparently running afoul of the impossible and absurd rules that now hypothetically govern morality itself in the days of...
They still argue that those statements are out of context. How do I know? I used to do that. Wait. They claim that Jordan Peterson is out of context when he, like, when you watch one of their videos where like I carefully show you why Jordan Peterson is transphobic. If they're still saying that, they're fucking delusional, dude. I mean, Jordan Peterson himself says he's transphobic and says he's conservative now. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even lie about it anymore. He doesn't even feel the need to hide it. That video that you watched of me from 2018, okay, is from a time when Jordan Peterson refused to recognize that he was conservative, that he would say he's not a right-winger of some sort, and that's just not the case. That's not mental gymnastics at this point. That's actually mental illness, okay? Like, your friends that say trans people are mentally ill, if they are Jordan Peterson's stance to that degree, they are mentally ill, not fucking trans people. Straight up.
Of the degenerated postmodern and Marxist ethos that we must still, no matter how impossible it is, abide by, or else. And you might object, Ellen/Elliot is an adult, 30-something, and fully capable of making up his, her, their own mind about such things, and she, he, they are welcome from the liberal and the libertarian position to go to hell in a handbasket as she, he, they see fit.
He said you're going to hell. If you're trans, you're just, well, okay, nice.
And fair enough to some degree. But I don't believe it is either merely picayune or inappropriate to point out that Ellen/Elliot, who is quite a good actor/actress, is also a ritual model for emulation. Being a star.
Bro, here's what you could have done. Instead of making a 15-minute video with 2 different camera angles crying about being suspended on Twitter for straight up being transphobic about Elliot Page, you could have just not done any of this and just deleted the tweet and you'd be fine. That's it.
With all the privileges and, let us point out, the responsibilities that go along with that. So by acquiescing to this surgery and by publicizing it, and by insisting upon the sanctity and the moral virtue of his, her, their new, expensive, dangerous, and medically enhanced identity, and by participating in the whole identity charade, Ellen/Elliot has undoubtedly, with his, her, their so-called courage, and remember, the White House itself has tweeted out every indication of believing in the courage of those who transition, enticed many a poor, confused adolescent, girl most likely, to blame her emergent pubescent self-consciousness, confusion, and discomfort on being born in the wrong body and believing that the courageous, self-affirming, and morally admirable route is horrible.
Bro, this is the most boring way to be transphobic, by the way. Like, this is pretty funny. Like, he's just like, it's like hard to watch, not because it's like so viciously transphobic or whatever, but also because it's so incredibly boring. And it's like such a meaningless thing that he is trying to create a much larger issue out of. It's hilarious, bro. He literally is just like fucking complaining about being suspended off of Twitter and trying to just be as transphobic as he possibly can in 15 minutes. It's funny to us, but there are people who agree with him. Dude, I mean, they're insane.
Hormonal treatment, sterilization, subjugation to a lifetime of expensive medical complication. How delightfully profitable is that? And misery. And I believe firmly that Ellen/Elliot, or whatever the hell her name or his name.
Ask why H33 loves Jordan and Winters. Wait, first of all, are you stupid? Why wasn't this dog in the Nazi supremacist Winters woman promoted by H3H3? Bro, are you fucking dumb? Do you not, like, Ethan literally deleted the video, bro. I told him not to, and he still deleted the video. Are you such a mobile chatter that you're stuck in 2019 or some shit? What the fuck? Like, he literally deleted the fucking Jordan Peterson video, which I wouldn't have even done.
Name is, bears moral culpability for that. And finally, with regard to the final phrase, criminal physician, I must say that I've had some post-coital, so to speak, regrets about that phrase. It is clearly the case that the surgical operation performed...
Post-coital? My man said post-coital when he's talking about posting. Oh my God, degenerate incel freak.
By the butchers who butchered Elliot/Ellen was legal. So, was it criminal or not? Were the operations undertaken by the fascist physicians who carried out the Nazi medical experiments legal? Yes.
No, dude, you can't literally be a Nazi while simultaneously being likening what the Nazis did to what the Nazis actually believed, which was that trans people were criminal and mentally ill and that they need to be fucking killed. That's crazy. Bro, you're literally the Nazi in this situation. What the fuck? How the fuck did you arrive at that conclusion? No way. He said gender confirmation surgery is akin to Nazi experiments. That's so fucking vile, dude. That is wow. I mean, congratulations. At least there you go, dude. Hey, he found it. That was one. That was a insane take. There you go. Homie said the Nazis, who quite literally burned fucking trans medical books, okay, who quite literally also put trans people in concentration camps, who were expressly transphobic, so transphobic that Steven Crowder's Peanut Gallery, not that long ago, like a month ago, literally were agreeing with the Nazis for their transphobia. Remember that? Okay. Wow. Jordan Peterson, while simultaneously agreeing with the Nazi position on trans people, likened a surgery that trans people choose to get to what the Nazis did against people's wills. That is wild to me.
Criminal physician. I must say that I've had some post-coital, so to speak, regrets about that phrase. It is clearly the case that the surgical operation performed by the butchers who butchered Elliot/Ellen was legal. So, was it criminal or not? Were the operations undertaken by the fascist physicians who carried out the Nazi medical experiments legal? Yes, under the laws of the time. But were they criminal? I'll leave that question up to you to answer. And further,
Pussy.
perhaps it might be...
He thinks he's spitting too. Look at him. Look at his like fucking face. What a fucking bitch-made motherfucker, dude.
And further,
Oh God, dude. Busted ass fucking devil-looking, shaitan-looking motherfucker, bro. I swear to God. I have so much disgust in my heart for this person. Like, I cannot explain it to you, bro.
perhaps it might be...
He is so ugly, both inside and out. Oh my Lord, dude. Oh, dude, you are literally gonna burn in hell. Sometimes I do hope that there is a hell, because Jordan Peterson is gonna fucking burn in it, dude. He's gonna be crisped up. God damn. My friend said this about your takes. This guy keeps explaining what Jordan is saying for you. I wouldn't watch this guy anymore if I was you. Jordan is a clinical psychologist. He's telling you how to feel about Jordan saying when what he says is the most relevant psychological information we can get this day and age. What Jordan says is based carefully revived information and years of historical data. Yeah, that person's a fucking idiot, and he's been captivated by Jordan's authority, which he does not even have, by the way. So attack Jordan Peterson's credibility, and you will recognize, you will see better results. A person like that, you can actually easily dupe into understanding the reality, by the way. Like, those people are fucking stupid, right? Show them the Canadian Bar Association criticizing Jordan Peterson's horrifyingly wrong takes on Bill C-16. Boom, immediately. Show them other professors in the field making fun of Jordan Peterson for his dog shit fucking books. Show him the pussy thing from Maps of Meaning. You know what I mean? His grandmother's pussy hair thing from Maps of Meaning. You will be able to very easily convince that person that Jordan Peterson's credibility is not actually as significant as Jordan Peterson claims it is. And once you do that, once you undermine that authority that he has, it's much easier to just fucking rip into Jordan.
He objected, what about the damage done by hypothetically leaving those confused about their identity to dwell in their confusion? Aren't we morally obliged to intervene? And I would say, no. Why? Well, first, do no harm, as the Hippocratic Oath, remember that, insists. And second, it has been a matter of historical consensus that sins of omission are less egregious than sins of commission. Thus, leaving someone with gender dysphoria, no matter how warranted, and perhaps it is in a very tiny minority of truly unfortunate cases, to suffer the consequences of the theoretical mismatch between soul and body is less of a risk ethically, personally, socially, and philosophically than the extremely active intervention that constitutes so-called gender confirming, another hated phrase, surgery. I might also point out that the trans surgery enterprise is now a $300 million per annum growth industry.
Damn, bro. Big trans. Boys, big trans is out to trans everybody. You know what I mean? They're trying to trans every motherfucker out there, dude. Yeah, $300 million enterprise, dude. Yo, fucking crazy, dog. That shit is crazy, brother.
Rate of projected expansion, 15% per year. Projected increase by 2027 to $750 million per year. An expanding enterprise in a time of global uncertainty. Time to invest, both in the requisite surgical skills and perhaps in any industry associated with this vicious and unconscionable fad.
By the way, big trans doctors, fun time to remind everybody that Jordan Peterson quite literally has been funded by the oil lobby and have quite literally not only been funded by the oil lobby, but has defended the oil and gas industry and has used their talking points regularly. Okay? I love that. This is very rich coming from a person who got a hair transplant. Yeah, what's up, bro? Fucking clocked it. Thank you, chatter. I was looking for something like this. Jordan Peterson making a 15-minute video with 2 different cameras crying about being suspended on Twitter for straight up being transphobic about Elliot Page's hilarious intellectual giant crying and debating Twitter TOS with the absolute worst arguments I've ever heard. This dude got gender affirming surgery in the form of a hair transplant and is crying about trans people being able to have that same privilege. Yeah, Pride Month is over, balds. I'm coming for you too. Remember, that's why I said. Remember what I said, motherfuckers? B stands not for bisexual, but for bald. So guess what? Once LGBT Pride Month is over, the balds can catch these fucking hands too, dude. I'm a bald foe, motherfucker. Yeah, my allyship was fake. What are you going to do about it?
Primarily entangling, as such things so often do, the youthful and female. Isn't that a concern, intersectionalists? Not when push comes to shove or ideology to scalpel. Is that not a true moral hazard? And I'm not taking down that tweet or acknowledging that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. Up yours,
so brave
moralists.
Up yours, dude. He's such a pussy. I love that, dude. Dude, people like this, because conservative ideology hinges on like aesthetics so aggressively, kind of like liberalism too, that like when they come across like giant fucking pussies, I think they're doing themselves a disservice. Okay? So I love shit like this. Up yours. I will not be taking that tweet down. It's like, bro, you are literally a fucking child, homie. Up yours. That's great. These people are 100% making themselves look like fucking clown asses this way. Oh, here, dude. Here, Jordan Peterson claims to have undeniable evidence for the existence of God.
That this something mystical or supernatural actually happened. We have no way of confirming that this something mystical or supernatural actually happened. What this is about the language.
Stops people from smoking.
Well, you can stop smoking without any sort of supernatural intervention.
No, not really.
You can't stop smoking without supernatural?
There aren't really any reliable chemical means for inducing smoking cessation.
We have no way of
Yeah, like when I stopped smoking, it was because God. Yeah. It's awesome. I love that. What a baboon-brained idiot, dude. I wonder if God stopped him from taking benzos, or maybe, maybe it was something else.
We'll see who cancels who. Twitter's a rat hole in the final analysis, and I have probably contributed to that while trying to use, understand, and master that horrible, toxic platform. No doubt, I owe some apologies for that, and I'm trying to learn, but it's a relief in some real sense to be banned, and I regard it under the present conditions as a badge of honor.
Dude, that's awesome. Jordan Peterson uncensored.